with Mike Simonson, head coach of the SPU women's basketball team. Coach Simo and the Falcons getting ready to open the regular season this week in California. Mike, you had a couple of scrimmages and an exhibition game, some practices. What have you seen from this group so far? What's your early impressions of this team?
You know, we want our team to be competitive and gritty. So this whole fall, everything we've done has kind of catered to that. And so every drill we have has been competitive. Tons of rebounding, tons of pressure put on both teams offensively and defensively because we want to have a competitive basketball team. So I think we're getting there. And in our exhibition on Saturday, the first thing Puget Sound's coach told me after the game was, wow, you guys are really gritty and you guys are playing like animals. And that was just great because that's what we want our identity to be.
Kind of like the ultimate compliment at this point of the year.
Exactly.
And the players obviously are buying into this this kind of mindset and mentality as you go forward.
Yeah, I think so. When last year, we talked about some of the things we need to get better at, and one of them was rebounding. Another one was, hey, executing in close games. And so going into this year, I think our team knows and has taken it upon themselves without us having to really enforce them. They kind of take it upon themselves that we need to improve in these areas. So they've been kind of open arms and loving it. One of our mottos is, hey, don't forget to compete, and we do that every drill.
You've got kind of a blend. You got 12 players on the roster, kind of blend of experience and newcomers. How's everybody fitting together so far?
You know, really impressive. I mean, we have 5 new players, but you would think they've been in our program for the last 2 years.
Okay.
So 5 new players, 2 junior college transfers, both played a lot in the exhibition on Saturday. That's Abril Washak Rory, it's hard to say her last name, and Ashlyn Burgess. Both have blended in very well. Ashlyn has blended in so well that she's already been named a captain on our team. Her and Haley Bennett are our 2 captains, and I think that speaks to a lot of how much our newcomers have came in and just fit the culture, because to have a new player be a captain in her first year is very rare across any team in the country. So we're really happy to have those 2 transfers, and the freshmen are doing great too.
Okay. And Haley is one of those veterans. Talk about this group of veterans and what you're expecting from them heading into the year.
Yeah, we've had some kids that have really been in the program for a while and seen some good basketball back 2 years ago when we made the NCAA tournament. So Haley Bennett and Maddie Hingston, they've been around for a long time. And Haley is she's a captain. She's a workhorse, has a great voice. I'm sure everybody can hear it because it rattles the rafters and the banners because she's got a great voice, and she really leads with that. And then Maddie's kind of a quiet leader. She has this quiet confidence to her. She filled the stat sheet on Saturday against Puget Sound. I think she had 3 blocks, 3 steals, 6 assists, and I think she scored double digits. I mean, that was a really impressive game for her. So she has been around. She can affect the game in a lot of areas. So those upperclassmen have been great. And then we have a lot of juniors too. I mean, Rachel Berg's a redshirt sophomore. Caprice Boston's a junior. I want to make sure I can remember everybody. We have a long team, but we have a nice nucleus coming back. We really do.
And talk about the newcomers. You mentioned Abril and Ashlyn, but you've got 5 newcomers altogether.
Yeah, 5 newcomers. So those 2 transfers I talked about, and then 3 freshmen that we're really excited about. So Kayla Brundage, she was at Garfield High School 2 years ago. Last year she went to Air Force Prep, and we're really lucky to get her. At one point she was going to go into the Air Force, and she was excited to do that, but she had a change of plans, and she's from the Seattle area. Tacoma is where she was most recently living. But to have her come back home, and she's a really long, athletic, she fits our style of play very well. Grace Stirk is from Linden Christian, and we've recruited a lot from that area up north.
Had some nice nice quality from there.
Exactly. So she's come in, done very well, and she can stretch it to the outside. She can affect the game in multiple ways, but very smart, heady player. And then Hunter Beeran, she's from Kamiak High School, which is right up the street where I'm from. So I've known the Wesco, that conference, and so she is an athletic, quick guard. She tore her ACL her senior year of high school, so she's just coming back. But I think she's going to be a really good player for us in the future, just staying the course. So we have a really good 5 new players that I think really fit our style of play and our culture.
And you talk about the grit and tenacity being a couple of your hallmarks. What else, when people see and watch Seattle Pacific play, what other things will they see about this team? Say, hey, that is definitely SPU basketball.
Well, I hope they see that we're a devoted and passionate group. Those are our 2 core values that we really hit hard. We have 5 total, but those 2 are the main goal we're trying to accomplish. So devoted and passionate. So I hope you see the bench is really into it and into what's going on in the game. And also when we have momentum swings, seeing a team that that really comes together, fights together, and also celebrates together. Those are the things that I hope you really see that is going to trickle down into so many other areas of the basketball court. But it comes with those cohesive pieces in our culture that really creates a gritty, smart basketball team.
As always, a tough schedule. A lot of West Region opponents starting this weekend with Humboldt and Fresno Pacific. Talk about that schedule a little bit, especially this November run.
Yeah, we always want to schedule very tough because we want to go to the postseason and make the NCAA tournament, and our league is very tough, so we better prepare for our conference. So this week we have Humboldt State and Fresno Pacific. I think both won 19-plus games each program. Humboldt went to the regional last year. Fresno Pacific barely missed it. The great thing about both those teams, they bring almost everybody back too, so they're very talented. So great test. The week after that, we have Azusa Pacific and UC San Diego. Azusa won the region last year.
That's as tough as it gets.
UC San Diego, I think, lost one game until they went to the playoffs. And so those four teams to start really set us up to, one, see where we're at, see what we need to work on, and just kind of go into what our year is going to be. And I think we have a great group, and we're competitive, and we're gonna get there and gritty. And shoot, I think we're going there to compete and win these games, and I think we can do that. And it would be a great measuring stick to see where we're at before conference play and championships.
Okay. And you talk about conference play, the GNAC, one of the toughest conferences around. Falcons were picked for 9th this year. I'm assuming that you're going to want to prove that you can move that up a few notches.
You know, one thing we do talk about on our team is we focus on the road, not the end of the road. And that's kind of been one of our mottos this year too. So focusing on the road, what that means is don't listen to the outside noise. Focus on every day, our practice, competing, getting better every day, and the fruits of our labor will come at the end of the year on its own. We don't need to focus on that and put more pressure on ourselves. Personally, yeah, I don't think we're a ninth place team. I do understand why we were picked that low, because there's some really good teams in our conference that are returning a lot, and we did graduate 4 seniors from last year's team that contributed. So I can see where people could see that, but also I don't think they see the magic that we have that we're producing on a day-to-day basis when we focus on ourselves too. So we're trying to strive for better than 9th. That's definitely the case.
You're in your 2nd year as head coach now. How has this year been different from you than maybe even a year ago was?
Well, yeah, I think last year, getting the job late, I felt like we kind of hit the ground running and doing a lot of things into the season. This year, we had a spring, a summer, and a fall leading into the season. So I felt like a lot of our stylistic things that we want to do offensively and defensively, things we preached on our culture, we could really reinforce for 6 months. Where last year it was kind of like, okay, got the job, ready to go. We have games in a month and a half.
Right.
And so it was hard to create a good base. This year I think we've had a lot of time to really reinforce things, and I think we're seeing things come together now, especially where we want to get to. So that's been the biggest difference, is just having time, the ability to really kind of put together your culture and your offensive, defensive philosophy.
All right, Coach, thank you very much, and good luck this season.
Thanks, Mark.